Hey, what's up, everybody? Another video here where I'm just going to sit down and talk about something fascinating or interesting about fighting games with you guys today. And we're going to talk about Master Cup. Most specifically, we're going to talk about the drama that happened at the end of Master Cup, which you guys might have missed. Master Cup happens in Japan. It's kind of a weird time zone. And if you don't follow Tekken, you might not have watched the tournament. If you don't know, Master Cup is a 5-on-5 tournament that happens each and every year in Japan. Incredibly fun tournament to watch, and also one of the few team tournaments that we have in fighting games. Generally, fighting games are one-on-one, and making a team environment for fighting games is so much fun. It really invests you in someone else's match, and it puts an additional layer of pressure on you that you usually don't have when you're playing in a tournament for yourself, right? It's one thing about fighting games. I was lucky enough to play in Master Cup. We weren't registered, but Team Italy didn't show up, so we took Team Italy's place. I represented as Italian for the weekend, and we played in the tournament. We made it to the wild card round, right? So we made it out of our group, made it into the wild card round. We needed 4 wins to make it back into the main bracket and have a chance at top 8. We got 2 wins. I should say Ricksta got 2 wins, and then we lost. We were out of there. The Paisanos were defeated. No more Team Italy, but it was a blast, especially because the format for Master Cup is so freaking cool, right? So it starts, and there's 4 teams in each group, all right? So it's like a bracket, right? There's 2 teams on each side. They play, boom, they move up to 1 team in the winners finals, boom, 1 team makes it out. This team is out. They're in the winner side. They have to wait till the end of the wild card round to play, but they've made it. They're chilling in the winner side of this tournament, right? The person who lost here, they make it to the wild card bracket, right? So they're chilling in the wild card bracket over here. The 2 teams that lose in the beginning, right? They move over here, and they have to play. 1 team makes it out with the other team, right? So 3 teams are going to make it out of each group. 1 in the winner side, 2 into the wild card bracket. Our team won our first match, lost our second match, so we made it to the wild card bracket. The wild card round is crazy. You represent 1 person on your 5-person team. 1 person, and they play 1 person from the other team, first to 1. 1 game. If you win, move on in the tournament. If you lose, out of the tournament. And these matches are just like boom, boom, boom. You just fire them off. So Rick's the plays, beats a guy. It's like, whoa, we're like losing it, right? It's the happiest days of our life. 30 seconds later, they're like, Team Italy, you guys are playing again. We're like, what? He Rick's the plays again. Boom, he beats another guy. Tasty Steve is shaking Japanese people. He's trying to kill them in the crowd. He's like, let's fucking go. He's screaming and shit. We're like, yeah. They're like, Team Italy, play again. Boom, Rick's gets smoked. We're like, damn it. That was a good 3.5 minutes while it lasted. We just got smoked so fast out of the tournament, but it was like a rush you couldn't believe. And I wasn't even playing, right? That was what was so fun about Master Cup. It was a dope tournament. It was really, 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 really cool. And it made I can't believe it's a one-day tournament as well, right? 240 teams, 5 people on each team, over 1,000 players playing in the tournament. It was awesome. It made it down to the grand finals of the tournament. It was Team Korea with Lohai, the EVO champion, on there as the anchor versus Team Yamasa. And Team Yamasa had a heartbreaking last year, if you guys don't remember. They made it to the finals. They sent out their player. He is OCVing the other team, right? He's beaten 4 people in a row, and he goes up against Kagemaru, the last member of this other team from Team Japan. Kagemaru reverse OCVs. He beats all 5 members of Team Yamasa by himself. It's crazy. It's this wild match. It was incredibly cool. So this year, Yamasa, after that heartbreak, losing last year to Kagemaru, they come back. They made it to the finals. They're playing against Lohai, right? I think only 2 members of Team Yamasa had lost. Lohai is fighting. He beats 1 guy. It's like, oh no, here we go. He fights the next guy, right? I think it was Take. Take comes in. It's like, oh no. Yamasa's going to lose again in the finals. They're going to choke it up. How is this going to happen? So he starts to fight Take. Things are just going, right? It's like final round. It's like, oh no, what's going to happen? Is Lohai going to win? Lohai's dashing up to him. Lohai stops moving. Everybody's like, oh my God, he's doing that thing in Tekken where they just stop moving for a second. They're like, what are you going to do about it? I'm just standing here. And everybody's like, oh. And then Lohai gets killed. He loses. Yamasa wins the tournament. There's tears everywhere, and everybody's like, oh my God, the EVO champ Lohai lost. What an incredible tournament. Beautiful moment for Team Yamasa. And then Lohai walks up to the judge and points at his thing. He's like, what happened? What do you mean? And everybody's like, oh no, controversy. And originally, right, I mean, take a drink here. It's good. It's about to get good. Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta put a napkin under this. This coffee is iced, and I don't want to get a stain on my desk here. I sound old. So Lohai walks up and he starts to explain that there is an issue. Now, originally, we thought it was with the stick. And if you guys don't know how Japanese arcades work, there's a big panel, and the panel has an arcade stick and buttons. And because Lohai and all of them are on Team Korea, Korea plays on bat tops. So instead of a normal ball top that a Japanese arcade plays on with a square gate, it's a Korean joystick with no gate, right? So there's nothing on there for them to use. So they brought their own panel. So everybody thought, well, if it's an issue with the stick, it's on Team Korea. They brought the panel from Korea, from one of their arcade cabinets, and someone drilled it into the setup there. If it's on the stick, it's on them. That's totally their fault. Then it turns out the screen went black. Now, the screen going black is decently common in Japanese arcades, actually. When I played in the arcade 2 days after Master Cup, the screen went black on me for like 2 seconds, right? I yelled out. I was like, Lohai, what the hell is happening? Right? So it's not that unusual for this to happen, but it happened in tournament, and it happened in grand finals of a very important match. So he begins to explain to the tournament organizer that the screen went black during his match for 2 seconds. And when Lohai doesn't move, the reason he's not moving is because he can't see anything. And it has nothing to do with dashing up in someone's face and stopping. It's because he actually just couldn't see the screen. And so this becomes a big controversy. And I've heard a lot of people talk about both sides of this. Whether people say, well, when the screen went black, Lohai should have stopped the match, and he should have reported it to the judge that his screen went black, right? And I've heard people say that, and I've heard other people say, well, it's not Lohai's fault. You know, the screen goes black. It's not his equipment. It's not on him. It's on the tournament organizer, right? I've heard a lot of different people say that. I've heard people say, well, Lohai only brought up the screen went black because he lost. If he won, he wouldn't have said anything about the screen going black. He also didn't even get hit when the screen went black. And I've heard other people say, well, the momentum of the situation, even though he didn't get hit, you know, it's just this and that, right? There's a lot of different things about it. But I think that there's a few things that you have to keep in mind here from somebody who was there and watched it all go down. The first thing that you have to keep in mind is that you guys are only, a lot of people, especially you people on the internet, I'm talking to you right now, the person who's typing in the stream chat, he's like adjusting his glasses. Well, Lohai should have, all right, well, hold on. Now, you guys on the internets wouldn't have known, but in the venue, when it happens, Lohai sits back from the cabinet like this, and is like, whoa, what happened, right? And also all of his teammates put their hands up in the air like, what? The screen went black, and they're like pointing at the screen. There was a judge standing there that saw what happened and did like an X, right? Which I think in Japan means like, that's no good. He did an X, right? And then the screen went black and he took his hands down. He didn't put an X anymore. So I guess it only counts when the screen is actually black, there's an X. When there's no screen when it's black, it's perfectly fine. The match kept going. Even though a judge saw it, even though Lohai and all his teammates put their hands up, they kept playing the match, right? And the other thing is, a lot of people said, well, he should have paused it, or he can't do it, it's an arcade. He should have stopped the match right there and told the judge. And the thing is, right there, it's a little weird because if you stop right there and Lohai is just like, whoa, hey guys, my screen went black, people would have been like, Lohai only said his screen went black because he was losing, right? He's down on life. Lohai made it up so that the game would restart. Lohai is a cheater. I hate him. I've never liked him, right? You know, that would have been like some of the, I don't know, discussion around it. He had no idea of knowing that it would be on film. And the only reason it's on film, by the way, is John Ding was IRL streaming from the crowd, and he's pointing his camera up at the screen, and in the very bottom corner of this, you can see the screen go black for 2 seconds and then come back. Very bottom corner. He got very lucky that it was caught on camera. Right, so it was very fortunate for him that situation happened. The other thing you have to remember about this is that there's a big language barrier, right? Lohai is trying to explain what happened to Japanese TOs. Obviously, they probably don't speak Korean. Obviously, they have to translate back and forth. It gets a little murky at that point about exactly what happened, exactly what they're going to do about the ruling, and all that kind of stuff, right? It's a little weird. It's a little weird there in figuring out what happens. And at the end of the day, the TOs decided that they would not replay the match, right? The question was, do they replay the match? If they do, is it 2 rounds each? Is it from the start? What is it going to be? Or do they just call it off and say Team Yamasa wins, even though the screen went black? They ended up deciding that Team Yamasa wins anyway, which is like, you know, the TO has the perfect right to make that call if he wants. And it ends up being a loss for Team Korea. Team Yamasa gets the win. They had the tears, and it was a really good moment for them to win. I'm sure that they're not happy with exactly how it went down, but it's a complicated situation. I think the big thing to pull out of this is that there's a couple of important things to think about here. One is that in the end, it's always up to the TO to make the call in these kinds of situations. It's always up to 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 monitor matches, especially a grand finals match where all hands are on deck, everybody can see what's happening. It's always up to the TO to monitor and make sure what's going on in that situation is on the up and up, right? If somebody on the TO staff saw it, should have probably stopped it immediately or something like that, because, you know, these things happen. And the second thing is that, you know, if you're a player in Lohai's shoes, if you think about it from his position, and I'm sure you guys are similar, in the heat of the moment, in tournament, on an arcade cabinet, on foreign soil, you'd probably keep playing the match too. I think that I would have kept playing the match. I think Lohai playing the match, continuing to play the match, makes perfect sense to me, about like the decision making of the player. It just happens. And 3, Master Cup is not an event with money on the line. Master Cup is an event that's for fun and it's for pride. And I think it delivered on both of those things. So regardless of what happened with the call, man, it was a sick tournament. And it was the final tournament for Tekken Season 1 on Master Cup, right? Because they're now updating the arcade cabinets to be Season 2. So there was a lot of talk about, you know, this and that and where it should have gone and what should have called what and the TO's this and Lohai that. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at anybody. It was a sick event. Lohai's not mad at anybody. He was like, it happens, it's cool. People on the internet, it happens, it's cool. It was a great tournament. Who cares who won? It was some good ass Tekken, and I had a blast watching the event and also participating in it. If you guys could ever get a chance to play in a team tournament, it's highly recommended by me that you give it a shot. It is super fun to play with a team. Even if you get mad at your team because they lost or because you lost or whatever it is, it's great. So if you guys didn't see anything about it, go look up Master Cup 2018 and watch it. Watch Master Cup Try, which happened the next day for a Japanese Pro license. Enjoy the event and, you know, check out some Tekken. It's a great time. I'm super excited that they're getting Season 2 in the arcades. And, man, we almost made it out of the wild card bracket. Fucking Ricksta. He's so good. He almost did it. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to be there in person. I hope watching the tournament was a blast. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.